Hello, everybody. For this week's unit, we're going to be talking about volleyball, and here's our introduction. Let's talk a little bit about the history of volleyball. When we start every unit, I do like to talk a little bit about the history. So the history of volleyball, it was created by a man named William Morgan in a place called Holyoke, Massachusetts. The original name of the game was Mintonette. That's not really important to what we're going to talk about, but what is important to what we're going to talk about is for the history of volleyball is the place where it was created. Holyoke, Massachusetts is on the east coast of the United States. It is a place that during the winter and fall months can get very, very cold. So as teachers and coaches, it was very important to find a sport or invent a sport that took place indoors. Here's some pictures from volleyball from well back in the day. As you can tell, both of these pictures are taken while volleyball is being played outdoors. We will talk about the different game variations here coming up, but the game has changed very dramatically as the years have progressed. As you know by now, I coach a varsity volleyball team. Here's a couple pictures of my team playing. As you can see, we are playing an indoor version of volleyball. And like we said, like not only do uniforms look different, but the game itself has changed dramatically over the years. The United States has two of the best national teams in the world for both men and women. The women's team this year won the gold medal at the Olympics for the first time ever in the year 2021. And even though the men did not medal, they are constantly ranked in the top 5 in the world. And from these couple of pictures here, I do want to talk about how the sport has changed and how some of the best athletes in the world are playing volleyball. On the left, we have Aaron Russell here. He is 6'9". He is taller than LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players in the world, and he jumps higher. On the right is Krista Dietzen. She is 6'4", and the level that she touches when she jumps and reaches would rival many basketball players on the men's side. The state standards that would apply to volleyball unit are here, the manipulative skills and the movement concepts. So take a little bit of time. You can pause the video and become familiar with these. So some key terms when we talk about volleyball. Serving is the point that starts off, or the contact that starts off the point, and you can either serve underhand or overhand. When you serve underhand, we serve with a closed fist. When you serve overhand, you serve with an open hand. Two different ways to pass. One is a platform. That's where you have your arms extended and you pass with the part between your hands and your elbow. And then hand passing is just where you have two hands open above your forehead and you're pushing the ball up into the air. When we talk about hitting, there is spiking the ball. That to me is the most fun part of volleyball. That's when you are jumping up into the air and hitting the ball as hard as you can down to the other side. And then in addition to that, there is what we call the free pass, or the passing the ball over the net, free ball, where you just send the ball over. Because in volleyball, you're only allowed 3 contacts before the ball has to go over. So there are times when you are scrambling or running or you don't make a good pass where you're just going to have to send it over. Blocking is stopping the ball from going over the net. And then digging is passing up a hard hit ball. So when another team hits the ball at you, you are trying to keep the ball off the ground however possible. I like to say that volleyball in a lot of ways is like the old school version of the game that many of us played growing up, which is keep the balloon off the ground. It didn't really have a lot of rules, but keeping the balloon off the ground was a game that we all played, where we would be running around the house or diving over a couch or whatever just to make sure that the balloon never touched the ground. And that is, in many ways, what volleyball is as well. Now, there are some funny pictures here that I found online. And on the left is actually a version of volleyball. Now, it's not being played with little 2-year-old kids, but there is a version of volleyball that's called beach volleyball, and that takes place on the sand. As you can see, a couple other pictures are indoors. There are a couple other variations. There is now a version of volleyball called snow volleyball. That is a 3-on-3 version played in the snow. Beach volleyball generally is played 2-on-2. Indoor is generally played 6-on-6. And then what I like to call street volleyball is what you would play at school or in your backyard, where there's not really rules. It's a lot looser, but the same general idea is there for what volleyball is. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you this video here, but I would like for you to, when you're done watching this video, to search out Scott Sterling Volleyball. It's a funny video that was put together that, again, is not real volleyball, but hopefully you'll have a laugh from that video. So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to volleyball. Please continue on, and you'll get moving with the rest of the lesson.